We're getting ready to start doing the mounts, but before we spend a bunch of time underneath here, I want to get everything all cleaned up. So we're going to get the floor cleaned up, and then back here in the back where the axle is, there's still a big chunk of dirt and mud on there. So I'm going to start getting that off of there so that way we can actually get it apart and figure out our rear axle situation. I see that big old chunk of dirt and everything on there. So I'm going to come underneath and see what I can do to make myself life a little easier and pick a little bit of the dirt out and pick a little bit of the shit out. And then I'll get the whole floor cleaned. That looks a lot better. We got everything swept up and cleaned up. Got some more of our other stuff put away so we can move around a lot easier. Got a lot of that dirt out of there, which is a lot better. Makes me happier. There's still some in there. It's still going to fall on the floor, but a lot less than what it was. Not sure what I'm going to do next. I just wanted to show you the nice clean floor. I think I'm going to take me a little break and probably go look at the axles out back and figure out which one we're going to go snag. This is one of the rear ends I'm looking at. I think it's drum. That's why I'm taking video, and then I'll zoom in and look at it later. This one's underneath of this girl. That's the one he pulled it out of, and we're going to have to get the one out of that red one. This one's still a good axle. The disc brakes, and that other one's got a nice little disc brake axle on it too. But on this build, we want to get the drum. We'll jack that one out and get it figured out and get the tractor back here and get her up and just get it all out. I went ahead and cut out some rubber, and we got some body mounts going on too. So we got those plugged in. Got this one over here hammered in too. We used some of the part of the one from the Dodge, and then we just put it in the cup and put a washer up on top and a nut. So, and I put a piece of horse mat in between. Just cut up some of that square horse mat and then drilled a hole in the middle. And bam, got us a nice little body mount, about perfect. So, yep, got that one fit. And then I was screwing around with this 50s Ford gas tank, and the outlet actually comes out in the right spot. It's just a hair wider, and it's a little bit longer, I mean, I guess wider, but you know, deep wise. So it's a hair their way. I actually think it's going to fit good, but right there is where the spare tire goes. But if you remember, back in the trunk, we have all that rust anyways, so it's not a big deal. You see where the fill is, and then we got a little bit of rust over there, and it would come into that area, but it wouldn't interfere with the axle, wouldn't interfere with anything. I think that tank's going to work well. It's not as deep, but it's wider, so it should be about the same fuel capacity, and we should be able to cut a hole in the top of that and actually put the fuel pump assembly in. So we might have to shorten it a bit, but I think it'll work good. I really think it'll work good. I'm actually kind of stoked. So we're working on that. I was lining the transmission up, and I'm kind of working the trans mount right now, trying to find the materials that I want to make the mount with. So getting all that figured out and kind of measuring some stuff out, finding some tubing and everything else, and get that all plotted out and figured out, and make sure it's got a trick mount up here or up back there like it does for the engine mounts. But I am pretty stoked with that. So once we get those mounts welded in, then we'll actually pull the engine and trans back out, and then we will, you know, take it over, wash it, and then I will plug all that wiring back in, and we will start going together with this sweet Betty. Yeah, I'm kind of stoked. She is going together pretty decently. So I worked that running board a bunch more, and I got it kind of coming down a bit, but I also worked this fender, and I got it pretty happy. I got to knock that little out right there. We're going to get a Porta Power, kick that out, and that'll look a lot better. Then I can come in with the body hammers, do a little smoothing, and it was like I was never there. But looking at our fuel tank options and a few other things, we'll get the welder over tomorrow, and we'll get everything welded in. Yeah, I actually just been tailoring up little things. I was getting ready to pull the column, but I'm actually getting freaking tired, and it's starting to get dark out, and I am hungry. So I'm gonna go grab me something to eat. But I wanted to show you guys how far I've gotten, and I'm doing a little better mentally today. I'm still depressed. Miss my wife. Just a bunch of shit going on, trying to get all this shit fucking hammered out, and it's looking really good. I'm pretty happy with it, and we did find a radiator over here. Evidently it's to a 57 T-Bird. And it is actually the right measurements to go into that. So, and if it has any holes, we have a TIG torch and we can, take it up because it's aluminum. So we can fix it. Hopefully there's no holes in the core. But that's something we can figure out, but might be a nice little addition to this. So pretty happy with how everything's going together and how everything's fitting. I can't remember. Oh yeah, I took you out back and I showed you the rear end we're gonna grab. We'll get that rear end snagged and get all that tucked in and get everything hooked up and put it in. I'm actually pretty stoked. But I love you guys, and I definitely love hot rods. But I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for following along, liking, subscribing if you made it this far. Just make sure you subscribe, and hit like, just because it really helps me with the algorithm, helps me grow all these things. So I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.